machines. So now we're ready for the weigh-in on this juice off. On the Omega VSJ843 side, we got 2 pounds of washed and topped organic carrots, 2 pounds exactly according to the scale. Over on the next side, we got the SlowStar juicer. Once again, we got 2 pounds exactly of the organic carrots that are washed and topped as well. So let's get into this juice off. First, we're going to go ahead and simply take out the pushers. One of the things I want you not to do when using the vertical juicers are to use the pusher if at all possible. These juicers, one of the features I like a lot, are actually auto-feeding, and you're going to just turn them on and let the machine accept the produce in at the rate they take them in, instead of trying to cram stuff down. If you're trying to cram stuff in there like a centrifugal juicer, you're probably putting in things too quickly into these slow machines. So simply I'm going to go ahead and turn both machines on at the same time. We're going to go ahead and take 1 carrot each, drop it in the machine, and let the machine work on the carrots at its own pace. Now we are catching the juice in the same exact collection cups. Let's go ahead and move these guys aside so you guys can see the juice off here. Let's go ahead and take the next 2 carrots in there. So far the carrots can fit in. This one looks like it's a little bit tight, so I may have to help it along just a little bit. Oh, and the Omega VSJ stopped actually. Let's go ahead and open this spout here. If you overload the machine, they will stop, so you're going to turn it off, put it in the reverse, and then continue to the on position. Sometimes if this happens on your carrots, you may have to cut the carrots lengthwise so that it's not as difficult for the machine to juice. It looks like it stopped a second time, so this may be a negative thing on the Omega VSJ. It might not be as powerful enough that it needs to grind up those carrots like the SlowStar is already. And actually, the SlowStar has actually got a thicker carrot this last time. Alright, so this might do the same thing on the VSJ this time. Let's see. Alright, looks like we're juicing pretty good. The VSJ did not get backed up this time. Looks like the pulp's flowing out of both machines. Time for the next carrot, going right in. One of the things I want you guys to know is that some people say carrot juice has a lot of sugar in it, and carrot juice, because it has sugar in it, is bad for you. I always want to encourage you guys to do good, better, best, right? Carrot juice containing naturally occurring sugar is 10 times better, in my opinion, if not more, than a soda with sugar in it. Why? The soda with sugar in it has only the sugar water in it, whereas at least the carrot juice has less sugar than the soda. But the other thing the carrot juice has that the soda will never have are the phytonutrients and phytochemicals. This is what makes the carrot juice the orange. It's the beta-carotene, the carotenoids, the antioxidants, all these different things in the carrot juice that are so healthy for you. So don't just say, I'm not drinking carrot juice because it's high in sugar. Of course you want to consult your doctor if you have blood sugar issues and see if it's alright for you. But if I had blood sugar issues, I would in no doubt, be enjoying my carrot juice. And actually, when I first got into leading a healthier lifestyle, I drank carrot juice every single day, twice a day, because carrots are the least expensive vegetable you can buy and derive the nutrition out of. Alright, so the VSJ stopped up one more time. Let's go ahead and continue to juice these carrots in both machines. Alright, so it looks like we're down to our last carrot in both the VSJ and the SlowStar. We're going to drop those guys right in. Now, the VSJ has actually stopped a few times on me that I've had to actually stop the machine, reverse, and continue to go. This is a bit weird. Sometimes it does it and sometimes it doesn't. Looks like it's working really good. The pulp's coming out, both the machines. And then as is the juice is going through a standard strainer. We have identical strainers on both machines to show you guys the pulp that is generated on both machines. Once you put the last produce item into the juicers, you want to, not turn the juicer off immediately after, because it takes some time for the juicer to work to get the last bit of produce and the last bit of juice out of that produce. One of the gauges you can use is looking at the ejection port here. So on the SlowStar, pulp is still moving out ever so slowly, so this means the juicer is still working on juicing, and as you guys can see, it's still dripping out the juice there. Over on the VSJ side, looks like the juicer, there is no more pulp moving, and the juice is very slowly trickling out. We're going to go ahead and put our little flap, the juice flap down, so that no drips will occur on the counter. One of the things I like to do sometimes is tip the juicer up to see if we can get a little bit of juice out, and it doesn't look like there's a lot of juice left in the VSJ. I think the slow start's finally done. We're going to go ahead and turn this baby off, and once again we're going to tip this baby up, and yes, there's actually a fair bit of juice still left in the slow start. I think due to the new design of the bowl, it kind of helps get things and the juice out, whereas a slow start, you know, may get a little bit of a, you know, residual juice in the bowl unless you tip it up like this. Once we're done tipping, we're going to go ahead and close the little spout. Next, I always like to put my hand into the pulp bins. Let's go ahead and move these guys front and center for you. So here's the two different pulp catch bins, and we're going to go ahead and check this out. Let's see the pulp on the Omega VSJ. Wow, I'm squeezing it. I have not seen a drip out of my hand yet. They're starting to form up. There was one drip there. Let's go ahead and pick up the pulp on the SlowStar juicer. Again, these are the carrots out of the same bag, and out of this, there's a bit more, you know, drips coming out of my hand. These juicers definitely made a really dry pulp. That being said, I can say without a doubt that the SlowStar pulp was a little bit wetter than the VSJ. Next, what I want to do is I want to take a look at the pulp generated. So all vertical juicers do make pulp in the juice. How much is the question? So what I've done is actually on top of the little juice catch containers, I've actually put a strainer. So you know what I always like to do is I like to strain the juice out. So we'll shake this strainer down, get some of the extra juice that's remaining in the pulp out. And so we got you know, a fair bit of pulp on the SlowStar. Next, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the Omega VSJ. Shake that down. Getting shaken down, man. Alright, so this is really telling. Check this out, guys. So I want to hold the pulp up, and you guys can see, look at that. See the difference in the pulp? Like, there's a lot more pulp in the SlowStar juicer created than the VSJ. I mean, I'd say like at least 4 times more pulp. So if you like extra pulp in your juice, like some people like the orange juice with the pulp in it, then maybe you want to get the SlowStar because it makes a lot of pulp in the juice. That being said, the SlowStar does include a strainer to strain out the extra pulp if it's not desired. On the VSJ, there is much less pulp first time through with no extra straining. If you did want a pulp-free juice on the VSJ, you will want to purchase an extra strainer to get all that pulp out. That being said, this is the least amount of pulp that I've seen generated on any vertical juicer so far. So now let's go ahead and compare the yields out of both juicers. Looks like over on the VSJ side, looks like we got about a little bit over 12 ounces of juice. And over on the SlowStar side, looks like we got about 12 ounces of juice. So I mean, this is a close race. I mean, I think that the VSJ probably made about 7% more juice, which is not a lot, but the other thing is that it actually made less pulp in the juice the first time around, and if we were to add the pulp in the juice, that would show that the SlowStar would be the clear winner because it did add a lot of pulp, which would add volume to the juice. I removed the pulp so that now this is no longer a factor, so we should have a finely strained out juice in both machines because we did use the strainer. That being said, of course, the juicing with the SlowStar went a lot easier, did not stop at all. We put the carrots in there, it piled through them, no problem whatsoever. On the VSJ, it probably did stop about a half dozen times. We hit the stop, hit the reverse button, and have it keep going. So there you guys saw it, the differences between the SlowStar juicer and the Omega VSJ. Of course, the Omega VSJ does cost more than the SlowStar, you know, so you need to determine which juicer is going to be the best for you if it's worth just a 7% difference in yield in carrots, and yield in other produce items may vary, and I hope to do future juice offs on different produce items as well in the future. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode learning about the SlowStar juicer and the Omega VSJ. If you're interested in purchasing a juicer or need to learn more about these appliances, please be sure to check the links down below in the description of the video for direct links to these products at discountjuicers.com. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and be sure to visit discountjuicers.com/YouTube